Hello, this is Pupu Noob again as usual, and this video is going to be about me talking about the issues I have with Mass Effect Andromeda. I don't know why I wanted to call this video Mass Effect Anal Probe, but that's a thing, I guess. This is not technically a review. A review is going to come. I'm waiting on Sarah to play the game as well. We're gonna do a duo review as well as a spoiler cast, so watch out for that. It's gonna be fun. But this is just because I see a lot of people complaining about the animations in Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'm not gonna talk about the animations because that's been done a lot. There are a lot of videos out there talking about the animations and basically repeating the same things, right? As well as the ugly character models, blah blah blah. So I have a few problems with Mass Effect Andromeda. The first one, let's go. The first one is the menus. The menus are unintuitive. Unintuitive. Did I say that right? The menus are not good. So because even the settings, it just gives you a long list. Like one is just like, you have to scroll down so much to change all the graphical settings and the video settings and all that. It feels really annoying, and it is actually really annoying. They should have just done probably two-sided menus or something. I'm not a UI designer. I'm not getting paid to be designing UIs, but there is definitely better options than just making a really long list and then you just have to go all the way down to get to the settings you want. That's just the settings. The in-game menu as well, so your inventory, your skills and all that. The skills is not so bad. The inventory menu as well as the research and development menu is really annoying. For inventory, I don't know what takes up inventory space. I still don't really know. I know weapons and armor takes up inventory space. I don't know if items take up inventory space. What if an item stack? Does each item in that stack take up inventory space, or is one stack considered one item space? I don't know. I really don't. So I just found that a little bit annoying. I don't really have any feedback, as in as a player, I'm not getting feedback from the game telling me what is taking up space, and is really annoying. I don't want to be testing it by destroying things. It's just not worth my time. So that's the inventory side. The research and development is also really annoying because when you research, they break it down into, so the first folders you'll see is weapons, armor, and augmentations, right? And when you go into a weapons folder, you see all the weapons, like all the weapons. They don't break it down to pistol, assault rifle, shotgun, sniper rifle, melee. They don't do that for you. They basically, like, melee is all the way down. The first few is, I don't actually know what's their criteria to put what up top and what at the bottom. Most of the time melee is down. I think sniper rifle is at the bottom. I just find that really annoying. And it's just, when you want to get to a specific item, you have to go all the way down. And I just found out a couple of days ago, once you finish researching a specific weapon, so there's like 5 research levels, right? Once you reach level 5, you will unlock a new tier. So let's say sniper rifle A, let's say you finish all 5 levels of its research, it will unlock a new folder right below that weapon called Advanced Sniper Rifle A, which again will have another 5 levels to unlock. I'm not sure if there's any more after that, but can you imagine researching a bunch of this and the list just keeps getting longer and longer? It's, oh my god, it's so bad. And the research menu is actually better than the development menu, which is so development menu is even worse. They don't even put it in any folders. When you click on weapons, you see all your fucking weapons. When you click on armor, you see all your fucking armor. It's so they only put like the highest level, because there's 5 levels to each specific weapon or specific armor, right? So let's say a chest piece, there's 5 levels to it. So the highest one up top will be the highest level armor, and I don't even know what that criteria is to put what up top. Like I said just now, like what up top, what at the bottom is so jumbled up, is so messy, and you would think that a AAA game would get menus down well. It's like, I'm not saying UI is like super easy or whatever. It's just, this is not your first rodeo kind of thing. So the menus are really annoying. The second big problem I have with this game is the combat design. So the movement feels good. Like actually moving on the battlefield feels good. The guns don't really feel all that good. The guns don't have that punchy feeling. I feel the energy weapons certainly don't have any punchy feeling for sure. I haven't used a shotgun yet. The normal vanilla Milky Way human weapons that shoot real actual bullets also don't really feel that punchy. It feels punchier, but not that punchy. But the movement feels good. The jetpack and the dash dodge also feels really good. Sometimes when you're moving, when you're trying to do platforming, you might slip when you try to jump. Like you kind of miscalculated. I'm not sure if it's because it's a frame skipping thing or I don't know. But overall, movement feels really good because of the moving on the battlefield, using the jetpack, using the dodge, as well as the cover system. The cover system is actually pretty okay. I like it that it's not, you don't have to stick to a piece of thing to cover. It's you just go there and automatically crouches. I would have preferred to have a crouch button, because sometimes you think that they will go to the crouch pose, but it's not an actual cover. The game don't count that particular thing as a cover. So like a rock, so you get shot at. So that was kind of annoying. I would have preferred if they gave a crouch button. But my biggest problem with the game is, with the combat design, is the skills and profile system. So Total Biscuit did a WTF is Mass Effect Andromeda, and he said Mass Effect Andromeda handles one of the biggest problems in RPGs, which is RPGs will corner you into a role that you can't get out of. So you have to choose like a class, you have to play this class for the entire game. So those kind of things. I disagree. I don't think it's an actual problem, because RPGs is you playing a role, and I like both games that give you a lot of freedom in choosing the way to play, like the Elder Scrolls game. But I also like games that shoehorn you or put you into a role and that you have to specialize in. So I like both. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's an actual problem. That said, Mass Effect Andromeda uses a skills and profile system. You don't have to choose a class. You get access to all the skills. So how it works is, you level up, you get skill points, right? So in your skills, there are 3 skill trees: the combat, the biotics, and tech. So combat is your usual grenades and all that. Biotics is like a mage. You use a lot of like throw, or it's like a magic thing. Tech has like it's good against armor and shields and all that, those kind of things. They also have passives. So each skill tree will have passive and active skills. Active skills are damaging skills most of the time. Passive skills are things like I'll increase my assault rifle damage, or I'll do a team support where I'll help my squad's shield generation will go up. Those kind of things, right? And profiles are things you unlock as the more skill points you put into a specific tree. So back in the old Mass Effect games, there are classes like Adept and Vanguard. So those have been moved onto profiles, and profiles give you percentage boosts. So let's say I have 6 points into my Adept skill tree. That would unlock, my Biotic skill tree. That would unlock my Adept profile. And the Adept profile will give you like 10% Biotic bonus damage, those kind of things. So the game lets you switch on the fly. It lets you switch skills and profiles during a battle. You do this by favoriting a set. So you get only 3 active skills, and you can only have 1 profile activated at any time. So the profile thing is fine. Only 1 profile makes sense. It's just that I also don't like there's only 3 skills. It kind of makes it pointless for the switching actually, because they try to limit you like by saying, okay, you can only have 3 skills active at any time, right? You can only have 3 projectile kind of active skills at any time. If you want to switch it, you have to use the favorite system, switch to another set. Once you switch to that set in the middle of a fight, everything will go into cooldown. You have to wait for the cooldown to be done, and then you can use the second set of skills that you have. It's almost pointless because you can go through the entire game without doing the switch at all. I have Overload, which does good damage against shields. I have Throw, which is it does damage as well as it pushes. If the enemy doesn't have a shield, it doesn't have shield or armor, it will like ragdoll it, and once it lands, it gets damaged. So, and my third skill is Singularity, which does a gravity pull thing, and I use my Throw to activate the combo detonator because it has a really low cooldown. You can go through the entire game with those 3 skills. So it makes the switching pointless. Now, I don't know what your opinions are about game design that doesn't actually incentivize the player to use. But I think just because you give me an option, I still have to be incentivized to use it. Like, if there's no incentives for me to use it, then there's no point. Once in a while, I see myself switching. I had to fight a really tough enemy. Today I was playing it, and I had to fight a really tough enemy that had really high armor. So I did like 1 switch, but that's like the only switch I did for the entire 53 hours I played. I mean, it's really pointless. And the reason why they gave you the ability to switch all this stuff on the fly is also because they took away control from the squad. You can't control your squad anymore. You can only control your main character, which means you cannot have any tactics or strategy. Everything is brute force now. It's basically an action game with a bit of RPG elements. With action game with RPG elements. It's no longer an action RPG. And because switching requires you to pause the game, that also feels weird. Because an action game, in the middle of a fight, you pause in the middle of the battle, and it just feels really weird. I never like games that like action games. I don't like action games that requires me to pause. I'm okay with Star Wars KOTOR and Dragon Age Origins that had pausing because it made more sense in those games to pause compared to this game. And I don't really like the combat design, and it's mostly because pointless to switch skills and profiles, because you can basically brute force the entire game with just 3 skills and 1 profile. You don't really need to switch. You're not incentivized to switch because there's really no point. To switch, you have to pause, which also feels weird. Overall I just don't really like the combat design. And my third big one is Asian faces with American names, with English names basically, and I think that's kind of weird. This is my SJW coming out, so this is a game set in the future. There's no longer the white race, the black race, the Chinese race. It's all the human race, the Asaris, the Turians, the Krogans. We are looked at as the human race. I know that this game is made by, an American blah 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 Canadian company. It's a very Western game. It's just that why are the characters that has Asian faces all have both first and last English names? Usually you have like a first English name and then the Chinese name, let's say, or the Japanese name or whatever. They only have like the first name to make it easier for people to recognize them or to name them, unless they are Asian Americans and they have blah blah blah. It just feels very narrow. I just feel their viewpoint is really narrow. Like in the future, the only country to survive is America and Canada or something. Like no other country survived. Like China, the communists would fucking destroy them, kill them all. Like I just feel it's really narrow, and for all these developers and like games companies that preach being progressive, holy fuck! Like the anti SJWs are calling BioWare SJW. While I look at this, they're really not. They have a very narrow viewpoint in my opinion. Like all of them have English names, like and Spanish, like Mexican names, I guess. But it's because it's because it's part of their culture. They it's like part of the Americas. I don't know. It's just the SJW in me find it very weird and a bit annoying. So yeah, those are my issues with this game. Those are my three biggest issues with Mass Effect Andromeda. The review will be coming, as well as a spoiler cast that will be coming hopefully next month. So yeah, I am enjoying myself. I think the game is a pretty good game. I definitely don't condone the developers getting a lot of threatening messages by people. It's just that the game is pretty flawed. So yeah, enough from me. Enough from this fucking SJW samurai wannabe looking asshole. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.